All right. Did we lose someone? Did we lose Steve? I hope he realized. Anyway. Yeah. Okay. Morning, 10:45. Got it. Good to see everybody. Okay. Stop that, if you will. I'm catching up on the chat as we get ready to kick back in. APP, UAL. Okay, looks like a good conversation was going on. Usually I like to join up a little earlier, but I lost track of time, and I'm like, oh, I need to pop on there. Let's go ahead and kick things into gear. Maybe we'll see some people join us or someone come back in, but officially, good evening. Welcome out to the Market Watch Group working sessions, the intermediate session. I'm Scott. Approximately 8:50 p.m. A little early, actually. Here's the disclaimers. As always, we're not brokers, we're not advisors. We don't give advice or recommendations. This is for education, illustrative purposes only. To the platform. Okay. Well, let's talk about it. What's going on now? I think our futures are up after Nasdaq or Google. Does that sound right? Yeah, futures are up right now pretty well. Let's go take a look. Fastenal looking good. Put a signal out there today. Here's Google. I'm going to kick this back to, what are we getting? 10 points? Okay, that's pretty good. 10 points, that's what, 6%? Ish. That's pretty solid. That's helpful for tech, and tech is helpful for bullishness, period. We're fans. Yeah, talk to me. Catch me up. What did you guys like? What did you not like? PLTR kind of pausing. You might have started to pare that down a little bit. Earnings coming out. Might get a bump from Google. I held some thinking maybe it gets a bump when Google gets a bump, if it gets a bump, which it did. Where are you at with this one, everybody? Have you closed? Have you closed some? Have you closed all? Have you closed none? You guys are very quiet tonight. Holding on, 2 of them, all of them? Pared down any of them? I know there was more than just you. What about everybody else? Anybody started to sell any yet? Give me the goods. Straddle on PLTR. Okay, so David, are you going to hold that straddle through earnings then? Is that the intention? That'll be an interesting one. Paper trade. Let's see, because here's what I'm going to expect to happen. I mean, you can see the last time we were, now let's get rid of this. That one was kind of funky. Let's go back here. The last time the volatility was sitting around 80, which is where we are. We're at 75. The next day when earnings came out, that volatility dropped to 50. PLTR is expected on Vantage Point to pop 45. What do you mean? Like it's supposed to go from 45 to 90? Or it's supposed to break 45 and go higher? That's what you mean. I think that's what you mean. I got you. No, here's what I'm going to say. The 250, very nice. How much have you locked any in? That's the question, right? I'm paring down. Yes, paring down but staying in. Now you're letting it run, but controlled. I like that. I'm not going to hold through earnings because I'm very worried about an overreaction against it. You can see here I've got this earnings. It reacted down and then came back. This one, it reacted down. Now, you can go either way. I'm only bullish right now. You can go either way. But what's going to happen is you're going to lose potentially 50% vol. If you go look at your Greeks on that trade, your Vega, you've got Vega on both sides, and it's going to suck out on both sides. This is a great one. I want you to keep us posted because this is a great learning experience for you and for everybody. It's a paper trade, magnificent. Yeah, I'm not going to hold through earnings at all. You can see my expectation was 2 more days. I'm hoping to catch another pop or two. If it does, let's say it pops up, we get it 47 over I'm there. I'm like done. We'll see what happens. So I have a tour scheduled with the people from Circle. You guys all probably know Phil. Phil and I are going to meet with them. Leave 2 contracts. There you go. But it's fun already. Where is it? No. Okay, so look at this. Do you guys mind if I take a minute to show you this? Is that all right? If I could. Come on, Circle. Well, it's so good. No, I can't get it to load. I should have loaded it first. That's my fault. Come on now. Oh. I mean, you can see there's some similarities already, right? That you're familiar with. There's the bull. There's your fun bull. Here's beginner's corner. And ask a question. I don't have everything in yet, so suggestion box, discussions. Okay, down here you can see there are events and live sessions, our market sessions. That's the Sunday, Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Then you have the foundation session. So now it'll give a separate session for each Glenn and I. It records and posts. It does some cool things, right? So the recordings will be found in these sections. Market Watch meetups. They do have live meetings, but not on demand, which is fine. No one's using that anyways. Stephen and I talked about that. Stephen was probably the only one who was using it. And he's like, yeah, not that big a deal because if we have them scheduled and people come, right? So you have that. But this is everything we have so far. Now there's, let's say someone's new and they wanted to come in and take this first stock trade. Instead of having a link that goes to the Google Doc that takes you to YouTube, now all of the content, first stock trade, market posture, foundations, option foundations, trading plans, right? All of that will live as a course. And you'll be able to come in here and you'll have this is what it'll look like. And you can say, I want to start this course. And when you start this course, bam, you're in the first one. And you watch it and you say, oh, I'm done with that one. And you can mark it and you know you've done it, right? And then you can go to the next one. So all the content is now going to live inside. And you can just, bam, you find it, pop in there, grab it. If you want to review it, you can be like, oh, will I migrate past sessions like the recordings? Our past recordings. Now remember that all of our archives, Dan, are in the YouTube channel that you could go get anytime. So if I migrate, all I'm going to do is migrate the links, which absolutely I could do that. I could grab an old page. I could build a page. If that's interesting to you, I can build a page and then just sort of like throw all the old links on there. But really all it is, it's YouTube, right? It's all there. I don't know that I don't know that you'll have a lot of benefit from going back to listen to any of them. There's a lot of these, like Monday, Wednesday, Tuesday, right? There's a lot of those, but I'm happy to. I think you're going to find this is the right way for us to make sure that you can go back and find things. So at least all of the stuff that's labeled and, considered a little bit more evergreen, like this course here, you can just pop through, mark if you've done it all. Here's the other thing. We'll be able to have, someone can start a conversation and put chats specifically about any of the videos. And then there'll be a chat about the video, and there'll be, so anytime there's discussions going on, Circle's going to verify I'm a human, apparently. So I think I can do it, but we'll see. Yes. Okay, so the next thing it's going to do, I found out, every Thursday, it'll send you an email that just kind of gives you the group insights. Wait, what? I don't know what's going on. I know, and now it's trying to make me. I don't want my own community. I have a community. I want to go back to my community. Clearly, there's some bugs to be worked out. Does it have me logged in? Yes. Okay, here we go. This course has no members yet. Yes. Anyways, you'll have the ability to talk about individual sessions. It really starts to create a greater community structure as well. So it's going to make it easier. I'm still working on exactly how it has like announcements. So there'll be like in the Market Watch spaces, that's where there'll be like recordings, maybe like archives of recordings, or where you can download, resources, trade alerts. So there's still more things coming, but it's if you look at it, it's going to look and feel very similar to what the Discord is now, but it's everything Discord has, but it's just going to be easier, right? It's just going to be faster, easy. You can see how simple it is. You'll be able to engage with the content easier. This also has social interaction. I mean, you have the ability that if you're engaging, you earn points and you move up, and we're actually looking at providing like benefits to that. So you can become like a member moderator, and you get a little bit of extra abilities, things like that. It'll just, make it so that there's incentive to engage. Anyways, I'm excited about it. I'm hoping that we actually start to have people join the beta next week. So if it goes well on Thursday, and I get a little bit more done on here, then we'll get Glenn in as a admin like me, or I don't know what we're called, moderators, and he'll be ready to start to deliver. It's exciting because it's just an easier platform and easier to use platform. So it's going to automate a lot of things. I'm still just getting comfortable with it. So I'll be happy to get your guys' take for sure. Okay, so let's go back to the market itself. PLTR still a nice trade, nice catch. Still has some momentum, still has some time. Technology is going to likely get a bump from Google. What else? A new trade for me today was Fastenal. I actually pulled the trigger a little earlier, but I still feel like it's a valid signal. Anybody else get in as we talked about it sooner? Yeah, okay. I wondered. I still felt like it was valid even today. Obviously, getting in yesterday gave you a nice extra piece. So, Revenga. I absolutely believe in revenge trades. I believe trades owe me money at times, and I'm okay with that. People are like, "Oh, that's emotional." I'm like, "Is it? Is it best served fast, or is it just simply that I forgive but I don't forget?" You owe me money. I'm just saying. We can still be friends, but if we're at the bar and I see you open up and you're buying yourself a drink and I see money, I'll be like, "Yeah, you remember? You okay? I didn't forget." Okay. Yeah, no, it looks good today. I mean, look at it. It's would you have been concerned entering here? You got a real nice steady piece. Really nice steady piece, and I think we actually got even a little bit of a better entry. I think we have plenty. Let's see. What am I was looking for about 80 something. 82? 84? Let's just say 67 to 72. 5 points. 82.60. Yeah, I think 82.60 is in the realm. I think I actually said 82.25. So, yeah, no, that's... You can see where it's coming from, hopefully. Yeah. Okay, well, let's go back. Let's go through the watch list. Apple, if you tried it, you might still sit with it. It could get a little bump from Google's doing well. Maybe people think Apple will do well. You can see earnings are on Thursday after market, so you don't have a lot of time left. Aflac seems to be stabilizing, but you've got earnings, so I just think you're going to watch this one. Amazon, you've got earnings. Maybe you're already in this from back here, and you've got a little piece. It's actually doing quite well after hours. So it's up here at 193, right? 190, almost 194. So Google doing well has this doing well. So, yeah, what's the same thing, though? Thursday after market. You've got a day or two left if you're in that one. APO. APO, I thought it was going to turn. But you can see today the stochastics was still a little bit indifferent. You're getting close to earnings. I don't know. APP. That was your signal right there yesterday. We talked about that one. Today, you're in continuation mode. Still accelerating. I mean, you could definitely try to catch it and see. It's got a great... I thought I saw someone talking about this. Did anybody trade this? Let me know. AXP. I think AXP looks like viable. If it's the stochastics is turning. If the candle turns, I think you've got a nice little bounce. Preliminary target probably here. Secondary target would probably be up at this old one, right? I'd probably just take this and say, what does that look like? Yeah, I think AXP could fire. Okay, let's keep going. Did we lose Glenn? Yeah, Glenn bounced. I never know when he bounces. Sometimes he says it, and sometimes he just takes a good old fashioned Irish goodbye, which I respect. I'm not making a complaint. Like, I typically like to leave parties the same way. Like, it was just like, where's Scott? Oh, he left 20 minutes ago, right? Bank of America. Steven, yes? No? Maybe? It looks like it wants to try to go. I think I'd be giving it a little bit of leeway. No. Got out. Okay. Miguel's still in. I feel like I'd want to be given some leeway on these, just based on market conditions. Did this one catch you then 2 days ago? That was nasty. It just didn't have any volume. That was the thing. No volume. BK. I think BK is knocking. It closed here. If it was higher, I would have been like, definitely. I still think it's viable. The stochastics has turned. Okay, good. Small profit. This one looks to me like it could go tomorrow, and I'd be willing to. Let's see what we have by Heiken Ashi. Nope. Yes. You can see it had no bottom, but it wasn't really a big body. I would say tomorrow, if you have a nice Heiken Ashi, you could put your stop right here around 75.80, and this thing can move when it goes. This is still early. If you're going to get one of these, right? You can see very similar. Okay. That gives us a target up around 82.75. That's 6 points of potential. So even if I get in at, let's say, 77.50, I get 5.5 points. $1.50 stop loss. I'm 3-1. You'll notice though, where is this? Financials. I've got AXP in financials. I've got BK in financials. So that's a pattern. And we already said this is somewhere where we would expect to see signals this week, where they're developing and where they're coming out. It's coming out in a very specific section of the market, in financial sector. Oh, lo and behold, what else do we have here? BX, Blackstone, financials. The sellers have had the floor. They haven't done anything. Stochastics is pinching. That could turn. So if you're going to take a financial signal, the question is which one, how many, how much? CMG earnings came, not great. Now you might think, what do you mean, Scott? 25 versus 27. They lowered guidance. You can see that the stock closed at 60.50. The bid ask for tomorrow is already at 57.25. It's going to drop down to here come tomorrow. Ooh, anybody like that? That's another one that I thought about right there for an alert. I didn't pull the trigger on the alert because the liquidity wasn't great. I still like it. I may or may not have. I can neither confirm nor deny. Wink, wink, nod, nod. Diamonds. You can see it's still setting up on top of the 50. Fast and all. Already likey. This was looking pretty good. Today I was like, you know what? I might. And then by the end of the day, I'm like, ooh, you know what? And the other thing is, it was a little too close to earnings. That was like, maybe if it had some strength, I thought I could ride it for 4 or 5 days. I've done that before, no problem. Bitcoin all of a sudden got a little pop again. I thought Bitcoin was gonna die on the vine, but every time it makes a little comeback. We haven't been anywhere near some of those. Let's see where we are relative to. Let's go BTC. Okay, so we're at 75. Well, we're right there. The cup. GBTC is actually a little laggy on the actual commodity itself. Commodity? Currency? What do we call it? Nobody knows. And I have no doubt the next administration is not going to define it. One day it'll be defined whether it's a commodity or a currency. It's sort of quasi both and neither at the same time. Yeah. Just bumping right up against all-time highs. Very volatile, though, right? Like, this is not how you expect something to break out. This feels like something that's like splashing around violently as it maybe is about to drown. I'm not claiming. I'm just saying that you don't usually see volatility like this, except like on market changes. And if you think about what changed, what preceded this volatility? Okay, here's the volatility. This big bullish move. When it went from 25,000 to 75,000. This from September of last year until March of this year. 7 months, 300%. And then what? Oh, couldn't get through. Not in June. Dropped. Came up, made a little bit of a run. Didn't even get to the low 70s. Only got 270. That was in July. Dropped. Now we're making another run. Where are we? We're right up at the same levels. Same levels. Okay. I got to tell you, if it does not break through, does not bode well. We'll see. That was fun. Any watch list deficiencies anyone saw that they think we need to talk about? I feel like we have a pretty good list right now, but I'm open to the discussion if you think so. GEV, let me, where are we at here? Let's get back to 6 months, please. Oh, I'm on 6 months. Never mind. Yeah, okay. I don't know. Is that breaking the flag? It's hard to say. Not for me. Look at gold making a big run again today. Look at the volume. After hours up even more. Google, we already know, doing quite strongly after hours on earnings. Goldman, that's a maybe. Anybody? Just had a higher high, pulled back, higher low, stochastic, starting to move. Home Depot sort of just stumbled. It was thinking about it and then just, a stumble on increased volume. Where'd that come from? That changes everything. Just like that, changes everything. One stumble with increased volume, a gap like that, for sure. We've got to be like, now what? Well, if nothing else, worst thing I have to do is wait for it to break a consolidation. It doesn't have to break up here. All it has to do is maybe break up to this level, pull back, test the 50, gone. I'm good with that. But I wouldn't trade it unless I see that. Hood reports earnings tomorrow after market. Very strong. We'll see if it potentially consolidates out of its earnings. IBM. I'm trying to give it some grace. You know, it's very hard. Just keeps looking worse. IWM. Now, here's one thing I'd like to say. Here's the challenge to all of you as I've gone through this watch list from A to I. Do you have a beautiful stock in your watch list between A and I where you're like, oh, Scott, you should really be thinking about this? Because if you do, we all want to know about it. We all want to know about it. JCI, sideways, KKR. KKR, new high, pulling back in a very mild flag type fashion. I don't know. This is crazy. They're expecting 102. They only produced 69. I would think they would have dumped. I'm a little adverse just because of that, but also because we have plenty of strong things. You'll notice it's hard to see volume because of this. Watch what happens if I just do this. How much easier it is to see. Even with this big one, it's still like, at least I can see what's going on. This looks fairly bullish, but Boy, I'll tell you, that was concerning, right? MasterCard. I like it other than they have earnings. But we have AXP, which is given the very same signal. So something to think about there. McDonald's. I heard you guys talking about McDonald's. I mean, it looks like it's going to come out of this just fine. It's always a big initial reaction, but they reported and they exceeded expectations, and those are lofty expectations. Hold the onions. Hold the onions for a little while. Everything will be fine. Meta. Still got another day to wait. We'll see. Although, let's just take a look at Meta. Meta is already up 13 points. Was up 15 today, 2.5%. It's up another 13 based on Google's announcement. So they're already doing well. This was one that we talked about right in here as a pre-earnings trade. Anybody in Meta as a pre-earnings trade, let me know. Morgan Stanley. That's viable. Where is it? Here, sir. Where is it? It's in financials. It's in financials. So you can't just keep having more and more financials trades. That's what I said. You have some signals in financials. You got to decide how many, where, how much. Microsoft. Microsoft is up about 6 points. That's about 1.5% just on earnings from Google. They report tomorrow. We'll see if they can uphold and continue or if they fall short. And DAQ looks fine. They did fine. Netflix looks good. Looks like it's ready to maybe bounce. NVIDIA. Just kind of steady, not doing much there. PLTR, we already discussed. PayPal. What happened, PayPal? Expecting 107, delivered 120. Still wasn't enough. QQQ. RTX pulling back. I think it's okay. SO. Okay, so now what's happening with the utilities? Any thoughts? Is it losing status as a growth? Is this where everyone's like, you know what? We got a little overblown here. Because this thing got down and sold off all day. Big volume, coming close. Let me pause. Let's go look at XLU. Same thought process here. If it doesn't stabilize at the 50, then I think that thought process is off. But if it does, then maybe we have another one of these developing coming up here soon. SoFi, and that's why we don't like to hold to earnings, but could be another setup developing. SPY finished bullishly. Now here's the thing. This will be an interesting one. Average volume, 40 million, 0.092. 40 million, 092. A quick discussion about our posture here. Come on, calculator. 40, nope. 40,092. And average is whoops, I went the wrong way. Today's volume was 82,899. Average is 40,092. 388. What does it have to be? It has to be 1.05 or better for us. 1.07. 1.07. So what does that mean? That's an above average volume day. Who gets it? Let's think about it. Who gets it? Do we give it to the sellers? Do we give it to the buyers? Or do we give it a tie? It is a white candle. That's true. It is white. But remember that a good amount of this volume started here when it opened. Nope, it opened, here when it opened. Down. Then it sold down to here. Then it rallied up to here. Then it fell back. Where did it end up? We went from here, 580.6, to here, 581. 94 cents. 0.16%. 0.16%. There's no hard and fast rule for this. I'm probably going to give it a tie. It's just not enough. It wasn't enough for me. Unless tomorrow it goes up stronger, right? And even if it doesn't have volume, but it has follow through, then maybe I'd be like, okay, you know what? I am going to go ahead and give it to it. If tomorrow's another sideways day, then I'm going to be like, no, nothing. If tomorrow's a sell day, I'm going to say no, nothing. If tomorrow's a buy day, I'll give it to it. That's what I'm going to say. Because that 0.16 just isn't enough for me to feel confident that that was representative of buyer's conviction. That's what it has to be to us, right? Buyer's conviction. Do we believe it was there? Or do we think it was higher, but I'm going to leave it open-ended. Instinctively, I would agree. Buyers, it was higher. It was white. We'll see. Okay, where was I? What time is it? I still think we may have another trade tomorrow, and I think it'll come in financials, potentially, if it comes. Tesla starting to flag or pull back. It's a handle in the cup and handle. Taiwan Semiconductor, I think, is setting up. It just broke the new, there's the cup. It dropped, got all the way back up, a small pullback, bam, it broke out. If this holds, stabilizes, and turns, and it bounces off of this level, I like it. I would trade it. That is one I like from technology that has been able to ride somewhat on its own. TTD, just kind of grinding. That's a tough one. Not real clear-cut entries for me. UUP, real strong. A little too strong for the market. Here's the VIX. Did we get confirmation of a lower high? No. This was here. This was here. This is inside of that. It could be setting up this way. I think it's setting up this way. I would need one more candle that closes below this, and then I'm convinced that it is a high and that this high is lower than this high. But we seem to be shedding a little bit of that VIX potentially. Walmart looks pretty good. Just broke to a new high. If it doesn't get below the 50, I'd probably think about it on its next support level. Basic materials are holding at the 50. Communication services breaking out, looks strong. Energy doesn't look strong at all. Financials, they do look strong. Industrials does look strong still. Technology, strong and increasingly so. Staples, increasingly iffy. Utilities is right at the threshold. Right at the threshold. No interest for me in healthcare. XLY just had its Tesla bump. Now we've got to wait for the dust to settle. I think overall it looks good. It looks like I would expect for a posture that's bullish. In bullish trades, took new bullish trades, looking for new bullish trades. Paring down trades, starting to think about some exits on some. The cycle is continuing, but the cycle is continuing bullishly and upwards. That's what I'm looking for. That's what I'm going to keep looking for. We are about to get through October. We know October's historically and cyclically a lackluster month. Wasn't terrible. I said, who's positive? Nobody said not me. Everyone said yes. Anyway. Okay. Hopefully you talked a little bit about trading plans. Right? We're on section 4 this week. You can see this is a big one that I think people should be thinking about. When to take a break. What might cause that? Has anyone had that this year? And if so, what caused it? I haven't had one this year. I did last year. My number one cause, number 3. It's not a drawdown. I manage my risk fine. It's not number of trades. I can handle, it would take quite a few number of trades. It's when I'm out of my flow. It's when I'm like, oh, look at you. It's gotten emotional. When I was younger, just out of college, I played a lot of poker. I was a pretty good poker player. But you could always tell, my wife especially, she'd be like, oh yeah, they call it on tilt. You're tilting. Where I'd get emotional, I'd get mad, I'd get frustrated, I'd want to put my will on the table, right? I would actually say that lessons learned from doing that unsuccessfully help in a position like we're in here. Remember, that position is as a blade of grass. Dealing with a lawnmower, we cannot impose our will on anything. So we want to make sure we're recognizing what is my trading flow. When you're in the zone, you're confident, you're energized, high awareness, you're focused. You know what you're doing, why you're doing it, right? So you have a good inventory. There's no ambiguity, no kind ofs. If you know what that feels like, then you know when you're not in that. Then you know when you're like, I'm doing this, I'm getting impatient. And then you have the ability to kind of say, all right, how am I gonna deal with this? It's mostly just an accountability measure that helps you to maintain awareness that, again, we always go back to the frog in the pot of water, where when things change and you're not open to it and aware of it, things can get real dangerous and you're just like, la, 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 la. And then you're like, oh, now it's too late. So we got to have these little checks, these little things where we're like, well, what about this? Well, what about that? Right? Every week we do it with the market. What are the things about the market that could ramp up and have us be like, whoa, 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 right? We want to know what's going on with us. Like, where are we at? How are we feeling? Well, right now, if everyone's making money, I'd assume we're all in a pretty good place. But that, like the market, can change very quickly. Okay, good. Great session. Good chat. You saw, if there's another alert, I think you have a good idea. There's a short watch list it's likely to come from. Primarily from financials, potentially from technology. I will see you guys tomorrow morning, 15 minutes before the market opens, 9:15 a.m. Eastern. Glenn will be here for the last hour of the day. We will continue to work on this plan. I will continue to work on the next platform experience so that we can migrate and get ready for a big wave of growth, and we'll go from there. It's good to see everybody. Have an amazing rest of your night. As always, happy trading.